Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Danish Khalil, and today we are back with our episode number 4 for our podcast series Rise. Uh, Basically, the purpose of these episodes is obviously to make sure to give some great insights and details about entrepreneurship and risk taking attitude that one should have in order to build a successful startup. Today's episode is about the risk taking attitude of Pakistanis, and obviously, every culture has a different sort of risk taking abilities, and not everyone can obviously have the same risk taking appetite, obviously. So appetite varies from country to country, economy to economy, culture to culture, region to region, obviously, and it doesn't remain constant, obviously. So today my uh, expert guest is again Ahmed Arif from Saudi Arabia. He has a vast experience in this field, and obviously he's a very, I would say, one of the very few individuals with whom I have interacted have a sound knowledge about the financial entrepreneurship, risk taking. Because in finance, risk taking is a very, very important topic. You need to have a measurable outcome about every kind of a situation or every thing which you would like to do. So uh, entrepreneurs obviously take risks because it's necessary. Obviously they should have this risk taking attitude in them in order to start something, because in order to start a new business, a fresh business, or maybe some of the entrepreneurs risk their well reputed jobs and steady paychecks, and they try to come into this entrepreneurship journey just to have their own startup, just to be their own boss. So this it actually is itself is a big risk which they take. So being an entrepreneur, I also have taken a lot of risks in my life, and uh, risk is not about the financial risk, but risk is about moving forward. Risk is about challenging your own thoughts, challenging your own limitations. Risk is not something related to or tied up to the money thing, or something related to any monetary part, but it's also about your attitude. It's also about your challenges. It's also about your own aptitude, actually. So I really have challenged myself in these years, like 4 to 5 years. I have been into many risk-taking situations, and I tried my level best, to get out of it comfortably and successfully. But obviously, every situation gives us a pretty decent lesson. So, Ahmed Bhai, I would like to start with you with a very important question: that what are the primary drivers of risk-taking attitude one should have, or one really have, which you have experienced or seen in different people and different entrepreneurs in your life? What do you think are the basic primary drivers for someone to have a high risk attitude? What do you think about it?
Thank you, Danish, for this brilliant introduction. Um and to
Most
answer
welcome.
your question, um the drivers could be I want to be someone different. I want to be successful. That's why I'm taking risk. So let's say most people are not wealthy. Most people are either from the middle class or the lower class. So if I want to be successful, if I want to be in a higher social status, I will be taking risk. So this successful thing is there. This element is very important. Having motivation. So when I'm having motivation, I'm taking risk. So maybe I change my country. Okay, I found an opportunity outside, so I change my country. I take risk. I go alone. I deal with different culture. I do things which I did not do before in this country, so I'm taking risk. So always this motivational thing, this desire for success, being successful. This is the main drivers of risk taking. Um, as well, people who want to make a lot of money. You cannot make a lot of money without having a high risk. You cannot play it safe. You cannot say I'm going to work as an employee and I'm going to get high returns. Usually, this is not the typical thing. So if you want to have a lot of money, you need to take a lot of risk. So mainly this is the three main motives: money, a lot of money, motivation, and being successful. Your turn.
So what do you think that Pakistani, since because we are living in underdeveloping countries, and obviously we have a lot of poverty and a lot of unemployment and inflation and everything is going on, obviously the post COVID effects which the world is actually facing. So what is the basic advice that you think, based on your 25 plus years of experience in the financial sector, that you would like to give to the young entrepreneurs, Pakistani entrepreneurs, that what should be the right parameter for them to take a risk, and what should be the right time to take a risk, and when they should pull back, and when they should push themselves in? What should be the right timings to take a risk in any particular situation, in any certain situation?
Yeah, when to take risk is when you are younger, when you are in your 20s, you are the early years. This is the best time to take risk. The more you get older, the more you are married, you have some financial attachment. The more you are taking care of your parents like this. The more you are into your 40s, risk becomes less and less. So the best time to take risk is when you are younger, in the 20s. And going back to your question for Pakistan, the macroeconomic thing about Pakistan is that it's an agricultural dominated country. So usually people are love their country. They stay beside they stay beside their lands. So the risk taking is not that high. This is normally by culture. People who are taking this kind of risk, go outside, work outside, or joining multinational or big conglomerate in Pakistan. They are few ones. They are not the majority. So these are the fewest ones. So there is, like as you said in the beginning, there is some kind of you are challenging yourself. Initially, when you are risk taking, you are challenging yourself. So if you are ready to challenge your beliefs, if you are going to make something different than the dominant culture, then you'll be risk taking and you will be accelerating further. If you just look around you and see what most of the people are doing, and you are just going with the flow, going on a autopilot, then you will not be able to take risk. So as you said, it's kind of challenging yourself, and the more you do it, and the earlier you do it, the more opportunity that you can make a difference in your later life.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. I would like to know one more important thing from your experience. Obviously, that is a risk taking is kind of a personality trait, or kind of a skill which one can build, or it can be taught, or it is kind of a thing that is like inbuilt in something, or it's kind of a genetics, or it's you can say it's born to be a risk taker kind of a thing, or kind of a thing which can be developed with practice, with methodologies, with learning, with teachings, with research. What do you think, like in your experience, what have you experienced?
Yeah, it's more into a personal thing. So let's say some families who are the wealthy families, they know what's risk taking. They know how to take risk. So for them, this is easy. For maybe the lowers, the less privileged families, they are not having this kind of risk. They want to maintain the current status. So it's mainly about the culture and the social status. Risk takers are mostly the ones who are in the higher status rank, and the more you go down, the less risk is there. So can it be developed through the years? As I said, there is always your circumstances that always influence you. So it depends. If things are not going very well, then I will take risk. even if I am from the lower rank. If things are not going so well, like I'm desperate, there is nothing to do, then I will take risk, definitely. So, but does it require a course, or does it require a learning, or joining university to be a risk taker? No, it's just the circumstances itself can be a motivating thing to do, and people, as I said, the more the need to change, the more able you would be to take risk.
Okay, great. Since we have lots of young entrepreneurs and freelancers coming in different industries, especially in the e-commerce, so a lot of youngsters now have a little appetite, and this is kind of an appetite that people are building these days, and uh, they have different varying backgrounds. Some are good in terms of financial soundness, and some are really not good enough. But these days, every entrepreneur or this kind of a field of freelancing has actually made people to think out of the box and think out of their comfort zones and out of their shell. They are not looking at the timing of 9 to 5. They are now working, in different timing, different time zones. They are willing to take more risk. They are willing to put up more energy. They're willing to give more time in order to earn more money. So the risk-taking appetite has definitely, we have seen a lot of improvement in Pakistanis, especially in this sector and this particular. And I think in the last 10 years or 5 years, we have seen good youngsters and youth coming in into this area. So I think risk-taking attitude is it definitely is something which one can have, obviously, from their family backgrounds and from their genes as well. But this is something which can be developed over the period of time. But that requires a lot of a lot of positivity, optimism in you, and the good character, self-confidence needs to be really high. Good emotional intelligence is really important here, and obviously resilience is the most important part that one should have. So one last question, Ahmed, regarding this particular topic, which is very interesting topic, and it can have like more episodes, I believe.
Mhm.
But one last thing that came into my mind, that is failure can make someone a better risk taker, or a continuous success can help one make themselves as a good risk taker, or as a risk taker which which is actually the requirement of one to have in a particular field or particular environment. Is
Mm.
failure is good enough for making your risk taking appetite a bit better and stronger than before, or what do you think?
I think the other way, the one you mentioned, having more successes make you more able to take more risk, because you already tasted the taste of success. So you are able to take more risk, and you know that few people will be there around you. You will be one of the few people, so the chances for winning and success is high, because there is few people up there taking risk. So the more successful, the easier to take risk. Actually, failure, as you said, it depends. If it's just I tried something and I failed, this doesn't mean that I will be a risk taker afterwards, because maybe I took the lesson that I failed, and I got some kind of belief that I am a failure. So it's not that I passed through a bad experience. No, people start to attach themselves to the failure itself, to the experience. So instead of saying it's a failure experience, they are saying I am a failure. So this is the problem. You have to differentiate between both. I can try something, I can do some effort, and I can fail, but this does not mean that I am a failure. Okay, I passed through a situation which I did not do. I did not have enough experience. That's why it did not end up by success as I expected. We can reframe it. So I did not succeed. Instead of saying I failed, we can say I did not succeed. So I did not succeed is much more different than I'm a failure myself. So it depends on the perspective of the person himself to be able to take another risk. So this is an important thing, especially in the people who pass through non-successful experiences.
All right. I think that's a very valuable thing that you have add. And on top of that, I think one should really make themselves resilient in getting whatever outcome is coming in any particular situation. One should be ready, and they should have resilience in them to survive in that particular situation, and obviously try to come up and bounce back in a better way, and obviously try to take or continue to take risks, because there are certain businessmen obviously who have a high risk appetite, and they try to take risk even after some failures, and continuous failures also help them to help them to become more resilient, and with more resilience they become more high risk takers. So this is really important, and obviously it varies obviously from personality to personality. It's not something which is fixed in something. It doesn't have to be fixed. So thank you, Ahmed, for your time, valuable time. Very much thank you, and appreciate again for your great advices, great inputs, and some valuable learnings, obviously, for the masses. Thank you. Take care of yourself, Ahmed, and we'll connect again for the episode number 5 next Monday.
Yes.
See you soon, and take care. Have a good day. Allah
Awaiting
Hafiz.
next Monday. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Danish. Allah Hafiz.